Come back, we're still reviewing the Punch. Who's ready?
Okay, so the Nigerian Guild of Editors and some senior advocates of Nigeria on Thursday have condemned continued harassment of journalists by police using the Cybercrime Act. So this condemnation, they're saying, comes as men of Nigerian Police Force from the Zone 2 Command, Lagos State. They arrested a journalist and publisher of news platform Precious Eze. The publisher of the online newspaper was said to have been picked up by policemen at his Bagada home on the 27th of May. His arrest is he was allegedly instigated by complaints from a prominent businessman and politician. The statement added that Eze's colleague under the umbrella of Society of Digital Newspaper Owners of Nigeria, they had learnt of his arrest 1 week after he had been detained, and after several attempts to secure his release on bail have proved abortive. And so, they're saying that the police authorities should desist from weaponizing the Cybercrime Act, and that, according to our constitution, once you are incarcerated beyond 24 hours, that's unconstitutional. And so why have they kept him for longer than that? And everything that they have done to get him out has proved, unsuccessful. Wow. So this is just, this is the senior advocates of Nigeria and also the guild of editors saying that this is something that we need to look at. The police need to stop weaponizing the Cybercrime Act. Allow for people to, go through the courts. Let them get their proper bail and go through the courts instead of victimizing and weaponizing that act, for politicians and big men. Let them go and defend themselves in court. Let's see.
Follow the rule of law.
So I have the national grid shut down. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, on Thursday condemned the shutdown of the national grid during the suspended industrial action by organized labor. He described the action as a treasonable felony, adding there was nowhere in the world that organized labor had shut down a country's national grid before. The Transmission Company of Nigeria's Workers' Union has shut down the national grid on Monday, like we all know, when they embarked on their one-day organized strike. To discuss them, which was due to the new minimum wage for workers. The shutdown caused a national blackout, which the SGF also said affected the nation's economy, especially with what we're going through and the hardship that we're going through. He said this addressing the National Executive Council of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Abuja, where he said that President Bola Tinubu was making frantic efforts to rebuild the country, saying that they, Labour, want to destroy it, that this is a sabotage to what the government is trying to achieve, that sabotaging an economy is a treasonable felony. He also said that the president received zero foreign reserve, and he's doing everything in his efforts to do the best that he can, that he knows that one of the problems, the massive problems that Nigerians faced was the subsidy removal of fuel, but that people should stop shouting and that they need to know the actual truth that this government is working and that they hope that at some point
we'll begin to see the results.
Yes.
So let's move on now to the Daily Sun. Presidency Atiku PDP fight over fuel subsidy. Reps propose additional state for Southeast, pass 98.5 billion supplementary budget for FCT. Cost of governance, CSO applauds Mba for emerging most prudent governor in Q1 2024. Presidency refutes 105,000 naira new minimum wage claim. What stories do we have in the Sun?
So I have the House of Reps and the Senate too, the two of them. Going to be known as Olu State, with its capital as Olu. The bill to alter the 1999 Constitution to provide for this was sponsored by the member representing Idiato North, Idiato South Federal Constituency, Ikenga, Ikeagu Ugochiyere. And he had 15
When
others.
did you start taking Igbo classes?
Ugochiyere, you tried.
I went to school I went to command. I have that. That's a lot of it.
Well done.
Well done.
So, and also at the Senate, this was also proposed. And if this bill is passed, we have 6 southeastern states and the 37 states in the federation. And they're going to carve it from Imo, Abia, and Anambra local government areas, and they will form the local governments that will come under it will be Olu, Osu, Oru West, Oru East, Idiato North, Idiato South. And me, I'm wondering, looking at the
landscape, yes. I'm even afraid. I think it's even very small.
Making them smaller states.
It's their choice, yes. But if it also would aid proper management, if that's what they think would aid proper management, that's fine. So that some people don't feel, some people are marginalized.
So also they passed a supplementary budget for the FCTA, 98.5 billion.
Do you have a story?
Yes, I have a civil society organization, the Enugu Good Governance Group. It has congratulated the Governor Peter Mbah's administration on its emergence as the most prudent among the 36 state governments in the first quarter of 2024. So they say that there was a report that was published by the Open Nigerian States, a website that's supported by budgets, and it showed that Mbah's administration lists recurrent expenses among other states in the first 3 months of 2024. Can you take a guess the country that spent more? I said country, the state.
The state.
Can we take a guess?
Lagos
was followed by Delta State. There are some states that did not even have any data or whatever to their name. States like Benue, Imo, Niger, Rivers, Sokoto, and Yobe. No data to their names. But the remaining 30 states, we have Lagos being the highest, followed by Delta. Ebonyi recorded the highest expenses in Southeast, which I find strange.
What do you do with the money?
Yeah, followed by Abia State and so on. Anyway, the people are saying that, it shows the commitment of their governor to selfless service. They said he's always said that. He says also what is commendable is the governor's disposition to citizen engagement. He says several town hall meetings and media engagement. He's always found a way to make sure all their people are included. He would devote hours to the younger generation, and making policies and programs, projects, amongst others. So the people seem to be very happy with him. Doing good so far, and I hope that he continues.
Good news. We like to hear.
For the other states that are spending so much, I hope that their states are able to see
what they are doing with the money,
spent vis-a-vis what
infrastructure they claim they are giving with the money.
I have a story inside, money laundering story. 2 chief executives of the Telecom Satellites Limited, TSTV, were yesterday arraigned before the Abuja division of the Federal High Court over alleged tax evasion, money laundering, and advanced fee fraud offenses. They are Dr. Bright Ikechukwu Echefu, who is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of TSTV, and Dr. Felix Nnamdi Igonagu, said to be the Executive Director of the Telecom Satellites Company. They were charged for money laundering. They also took money from money from 150 million from one Mr. Tanimu, who is the managing director of Kasiam Farm, as a loan to acquire modern equipment for his telecommunication. And they also took another 960 million under false pretenses.
Wow. So I have a story here. The federal government said they are committed to improving security situation in the country for the better. Now, the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, said this when the Swedish ambassador to Nigeria, Mrs. Annika Han Englon, was the one who led the delegation to pay him a courtesy visit on Thursday in Abuja. And he says we are gradually winning the war against terrorism and violent extremism, going by the various measures put in place so far to tackle the menace headlong. Nigeria is the best kept secret on global investment. Hence, your investment is safe and secure in Nigeria. We look forward to mutually beneficial collaborations in areas as economics, business, migration control, and a host of others. He also commended the historic relationship between both countries, saying that Nigeria's trade volume with Sweden was now valued at $183 million. He said Sweden was one of Nigeria's important trade partners. They had started the relationship far back in 1995, and the amount was from $29 million, and now we are getting to $183 million in terms of increment, which is about 6.7% increment in the trade volume. And this is a good one. We hope to get more investors to come in, that now we are sorting the issues of terrorism. Let's move on to the Vanguard. Major headline, Labour gets restive as federal government plays waiting game. Labour committed treason by shutting down National Grid. SGF, no cause for alarm. Edumbagudu technical committee to be set up on other things, according to the minister. Presidency to Atiku, no 5.4 trillion naira fuel subsidy provision in 2024. Rivers, Ijoto Inc. Wike gave more federal appointments to the Ijos. Reps move to create new states in Southeast as bill passes first reading. Terrorism, review strategies of security agencies, Senate tells Tinubu. That's what we have here. Police detain another journalist, Precious Eze, over report on Lagos-based businessman.
Okay, there's an upper strip, I think.
Upper strip.
Topmost.
Top. Heritage Bank customers count losses, wait anxiously for NDIC. Yeah, you have that story?
Yes, that's the one I have. So, even though we all know that the Heritage Bank has their license withdrawn, customers are in this report talking about each and how much they have and how they are not assured. The NDIC seeks to reassure all customers that starting next week, they will start payment of insured amounts of the 2.3 million customers that Heritage Bank has. They also took in the story that the bank has 160 branches across the regional offices across the country, and the NDIC will be present. Customers in the report are saying they never see anybody at all, but NDIC is reassuring that, that these monies will be paid. Because this has been done in the past, I'm more than, hopeful that it will be completely, all depositors will completely get their monies back.
We hope so too. I saw one of the ex-BBN Nigeria ladies complaining that she had about 100 million in Heritage Bank.
Wow.
And, but I hope that they will be able to get their money at the end of the day. Thank you, ladies. That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews. When we come back, we move on to our hot topics. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.